In example 2, they're asking us to find a unit rate from a graph. And what's important is to read the graph and understand it. And the title of it is the subway car speed, and we're given distance in miles on the y-axis and time in minutes on the x-axis. And this is always your x-axis, this is always the y. It tells us that the graph shows the speed of a subway car, that we know. And by looking at this graph, I immediately know that x and y are proportional because this line passes through the origin here, right here at 0, 0. So I know there is a proportional relationship here between x and y. That tells me a lot. It tells me cross products are equal. It tells me that the equation of the line can be written as y equals kx that we talked about a little while ago. But it's asking us in A here to interpret each point. And interpret means to write a sentence. So I'm going to flip over to the camera here as usual, and I'm going to write down each point. So I'm going to start with 1/2, 1/4. 1/2, 1/4. And the next ordered pair would be 1, 1/2. And my next plotted point is 2, 1. And when it asks us to interpret it, it's asking us to explain what these numbers mean. And every ordered pair, and we reviewed this earlier on, is as given as x, y. So 1/2 refers here to x, which is time in minutes. So I'm just going to go ahead and write minutes under each one of my x values here as a way of helping me stay organized and understanding the meaning of the numbers. And that my y is always in the second position, and that is always your distance in miles. So 1/4 would be miles, 1/2 would be miles, and 1 would be miles. And by doing this, it's very easy to interpret because I would use the fact that we're talking about this subway car and its speed, and I would write a sentence. And I'm not going to write all 3 sentences out because I don't have a lot of room, but I would use this to write that sentence. And I would say that the subway car travels 1/4 of a mile in a half of a minute. Or the subway car travels 1/2 of a mile in 1 minute. Or again, here we could write that the subway car travels 1 mile in 2 minutes. Each one of these, it's always best to go with y when you're describing it first. It makes more sense. You could very easily say that in 2 minutes, the subway car travels 1 mile. In 1 minute, the subway car travels a half a mile. Or in a half of a minute, the subway car travels 1/4 of a mile. As long as you're talking about what's moving or what the table's all about, and then again, writing a sentence describing both of your units. In number 2, it asks us to find the speed in miles per minute. So per, we know that separates our A from our B, or our numerator from our denominator. So we have 3 choices here. We can pick any one of these. Both of these have fractions in it, so I'm probably going to not want to pick those. You can, but you don't have to. I'm going to go with the one that doesn't have a fraction in it and use this one to help us find the speed in miles per minute, which is asking us for 1 minute, our unit rate. So to find that, I'm going to put my miles, which was 1. So miles comes first, even though it's our second number. And that's going to go here, 1 mile over minutes, which was 2 minutes. And I'm going to use this to calculate my unit rate, or per 1 minute. And I do that by dividing by 2, and I get 0.5 miles per minute for my subway car. That would be my unit rate, or the speed in miles per minute. 1/2 of a mile per 1 minute. And you could have done it with this one, or you could have done it with this one. Either way, you would have created the exact same unit rate of a half a mile per minute.